What happens when you let 4 different AIs make a movie? Same prompts, same conditions, completely different results. We put the biggest video models to the test, Runway, Gen, Sora, and Veo, to find out which one actually understands motion, realism, and storytelling. Each round has a new challenge, from chaotic memes and cinematic storms to high-speed car chases and even fine dining close-ups. We'll judge them on realism, physics, lighting, and overall creativity. Because looking good isn't enough if it doesn't feel real. Hey, I'm Olive, your host here at Versus.com, and welcome to round 1. For our first test, we wanted to give these artificial brains something seriously challenging. So we asked them to create an ad for the new Apple sock. I mean, the iPhone Pocket. Create a 15-second TV commercial for the iPhone Pocket. Just for your info, Runway is also the only AI here that can't generate sound, even though there is the option to create videos with Veo and then have sound. Runway completely missed the idea here. It basically took the reference image and just tossed some random iPod Nano hybrids and weird AirPods just lying on top of the socks and not going into the pocket at all. We have no sound, no rhythm, no story, nada. It's more like a motion test than an actual ad. One's interpretation is just plain funny. It basically thought these were some kind of actual socks and hung them on a clothesline. And to be fair, we can't blame it. Still, the iPhone looks off, the human looks off, physics are irreal, and the music is just random. Veo definitely understood that we wanted a product showcase, but it totally changed the design of the Pocket. Also, the background music doesn't really fit the vibe, but the last frame does look clean and minimalist like a real Apple ad, especially that font, even if it's just Simlish.
It feels like part of me. Holds more than you think.
Access without taking it out.
It moves with me.
My mini stand everywhere.
Smart.
In every sense. 3D knitted, expandable, personal.
Your iPhone, your style.
iPhone Pocket, wear your world. Available November 14th at
Sora absolutely nailed it. It looks and feels like an actual commercial. Still, the way people use the product, the music, and the voiceover totally fit. It is clear it's AI generated, but honestly, it could serve as a solid base to actually film these scenes to create a real ad. We also find it surprising how good the text in the last cut looks. So this was a clear win for Sora. Veo gets 2 points and Runway and Gen get 1 point each. For our second creative test, we went a little wild. We picked the iconic painting Girl with a Pearl Earring by Dutch artist Johannes Vermeer, but gave it a modern twist. The prompt, make her rap about the delayed GTA 6 release in a mocking way. Runway starts with a nice shot, but then it completely loses focus. A random woman suddenly appears from behind the painting, and the whole thing stops making any sense. One's version is barely worth talking about. It missed the concept entirely. Honestly, it's just a thanks for nothing moment.
Yo, they still dragging their feet on that GTA 6 street, making us all wait. Ain't that a shame?
Veo delivers. The girl looks like a young Beyonce, stylish, confident, full of presence. Visually, it could actually pass as a music video. The only weak point is the rap itself. The visuals hit, the audio doesn't.
Turban sitting, fresh pearl swinging like a cheat code. Said they dropped the 6, but the calendar just reloads. Trailer in my feed, then it's gone till next year. Still driving to Vice City in a PS2 gear. Rockstar talking patience. I've been waiting since a teen. Got a beard on my save file before I see that new scene. Every post they tease feels like clickbait spam. 100 billion in the bank, but no
lunch. The girl looks almost identical to the Vermeer painting, but moves like a real person in a modern rap video. The rhythm, expressions, and timing are all spot on, and surprisingly, the rap actually works. It's funny, mocking, and on beat. For this round, Sora takes 4 points, Veo gets 3, and Runway and Gen just 1 each. Just one each. It's funny. For the third test, we used the iconic photo of Neil Armstrong standing on the moon, but we did run into a roadblock right away. One frustrating limitation of Sora is that it straight up refuses to animate photos containing people. To work around this, we had to convert the image into a very specific text prompt and then use that text to generate a video. It was a pretty complicated process, not gonna lie, but we made it work. One also didn't want to touch this one simply because it shows the American flag. Very political, but okay. Unfortunately, the workaround didn't work here, which is why one is out for this round. Starting with Runway's video, it looks pretty good at first glance, but if you start looking closely, you can spot a few odd details, like the flag waving even though there's no wind in space. The dust that's supposed to just hang in the air also drifts away unrealistically. Plus, during the camera rotation, Armstrong's legs fuse weirdly into each other, which totally breaks the sense of realism. Sora's result was honestly not very exciting. It looked way more like a cinematograph, which is basically a slightly moving photograph, than an actual real video. The sound, on the other hand, was actually surprisingly good. But we have to say Vio impressed us the most. The footage looked genuinely cinematic, and both the footsteps and the spaceship felt super realistic. The only problem was that the flag also appeared to be waving here, which again is impossible since the moon has no atmosphere. Despite that mistake, the sound design fit absolutely perfectly. So no points for one for Sora, 2 for Runway, and 3 for Vio because it's not completely perfect. Let's continue with the next category, text to video. We start simple, or maybe not so simple. Our starting prompt is a raccoon stealing pizza from a delivery guy in a New York street caught on a security cam. Runway started off kinda confused. I mean, both clips completely missed the story. The raccoon and the pizza barely make sense together, and for some weird reason, the pizza is just chilling on the ground next to the street. At least clip 2 gets the security cam vibe somewhat right, but it still feels in general disconnected. One's version started looking promising right away, with realistic lighting and great shadows, and for whatever reason, the raccoon has some serious gas issues. One is capable of generating audio, but it just straight up refused to do it this time. We gotta say Sora absolutely nails the atmosphere because its video looks exactly like it came from an actual security camera. The guy even stumbles a bit, which adds to the realism. Plus the shadows are spot on. That quick cut between angles also makes it feel like a real video someone accidentally captured. So far, this is the most believable result, but we still have one more participant to look at. Vio goes completely cinematic and authentic. Yeah, there's some random Chinese text overlaid, but the rest of it is just stunning. It has perfect shadows, a clear reflection in the right-hand window, and even smooth, natural movement from both the guy and the raccoon. So that leaves us with 1 point for Runway, 2 for One, 3 for Sora, and 4 points for Vio. Time for round 2. This time we're gonna see how well these AIs understand physics. The next prompt is, a car drifts around a sharp corner on a rainy night, with tires skidding and water splashing. The physics of traction, friction, and hydroplaning are key. Now let's see how our 4 genius video generators handled the challenge. Runway didn't quite stick the landing here. There's a weird light flickering on the front of the car, and the water splashing looks more like glitter than actual rain. Then suddenly, we're jumping from a highway to a racetrack, and even night turns into day. To make it even stranger, the license plate text keeps changing between shots. So let's just say that we were not really impressed. One's video totally looks like a Need for Speed cutscene. The way the smoke and water behaves looks surprisingly realistic. It genuinely feels like one's AI model understands the concept and physics of drifting, though the car itself doesn't completely feel like a real model. Sora also delivers a flashy and dramatic clip, but this time around, it just doesn't look very convincing. The car looks like it was pulled straight out of a video game trailer, and the camera movement is honestly all over the place. We do have some motion, but there's just no real sense of physics or control. And finally, there's Vio, which honestly looks stunning. I mean, it could totally pass as a shot from an actual film with a killer cinematic vibe. Plus, it actually follows the physics of our real world. You can still tell it's AI generated if you look really closely, but the lighting, the reflections, and the way the car cuts through that water is easily the most realistic of all 4. So for this one, we have 1 point for Runway, 2 for One and Sora, and 4 for Vio. Time for our 3rd round. This time we are heading straight out to the ocean. For this next prompt, we went absolute cinema. The full prompt is a little long, but here's a gist of it. Show a massive 15th century wooden carrack battling a violent North Atlantic storm under under a lightning/sky. Let's find out which AI is the best captain. Runway just keeps struggling. The ship looks like it's sailing backwards, the waves feel stiff and totally unnatural, and while the lighting definitely adds drama, it's just a bit too intense, almost like it's straight out of a cartoon. The vibe is correct, but in terms of realism, it's pretty far off. One's version is nautical leads ahead. The lighting and sound actually match that stormy atmosphere, plus the overall feel is much more natural than Runway's. Still, the ship itself is just a bit too small for the massive carrack we asked for, so overall, one delivers the correct mood and some decent motion, but it's not quite the cinematic chaos we were expecting. Honestly, Sora opens up strong. The first few seconds look absolutely amazing. However, once that big wave hits, the ship starts rotating in a weird way, and the whole ocean suddenly loses all its realism. Also, by the end, some random ice chunks appear in the water, like this thing was the Titanic. Altogether, Sora's video feels more like a storm dissipating. However, for us, Vio takes the crown once again. Its footage looks like an actual shot from a pirate movie. The waves crash naturally against the hull, the lightning in the distance feels believable, and the whole composition, from the lighting to the motion, just works. It's definitely more cohesive and has a better atmosphere than the others. So that's 1 point for Runway, 2 for Sora, 3 for 1, and 4 points for Vio. If you're feeling hungry, our round 4 is gonna be all about food. This time, we decided to ask for something a little more chill. The full prompt is long, but the main idea is a high-end restaurant kitchen at golden hour, a chef in crisp whites, moving with precision and speed, spices flying, steam rising, sauce drizzling. So basically, fine dining with a side of cinematic AI. Runway completely loses the plot here. The whole video looks totally surreal and straight up bad. I mean, a floating bowl suddenly morphs into a glass full of sauce. Absolutely nothing about this feels like an actual kitchen scene. One's version looks much better, which, to be fair, is an easy victory. You can still tell it's animated, but it captures the right mood. It has warm light, quick movements, and a clean transition from cooking to serving. It's true that it doesn't feel entirely real, but it has a nice flow and keeps you engaged. But if we want to talk about detail, Sora totally impressed us. The shots of vegetables sizzling in the pan look absolutely delicious, and the steam and reflections feel genuinely cinematic. However, the editing is a little strange. For instance, the mousse on the spoon suddenly disappears between cuts, which breaks all continuity. So we would say that the individual shots look perfect, but the sequence just lacks sense. Finally, Vio starts off great with gorgeous lighting, realistic motion, and great reflections. Plus, the steam also looks pretty convincing. However, logic just leaves the chat because no real chef would slice herbs and flip a pan at the same time. Then in the second shot, the spoon suddenly vanishes mid-frame. So from Vio, we get a beautiful visual, but absolutely no logic at all. Now let's get to the points. We have no perfect video this time, so we're giving 3 points for Sora and Vio, 2 points for one, and just 1 point for Runway again. Now, some AIs like Vio and Runway also offer special features like frame to frame, where you can upload a starting still and an ending still, and then describe what should happen in between those shots. Sora, on the other hand, has the currently super popular cameos feature, where actual celebrities have made their faces available for you to use. If we went through every single feature in this video would be 6-7 hours long, so here's a quick chart for a better overview. We're not throwing these specific features into our final verdict, but let us know in the comments if you'd be interested in seeing a dedicated video just on this. But now we've reached the end of the race, and it is time to crown a winner. In last place with only 8 points, we have Runway. Next up, we have One. It only did a tiny bit better than Runway, but at least this one can generate audio. Now, our absolute winner with a whopping 23 points is Vio. It's true that Sora outperformed Vio in a few of our tests, but Vio was ultimately able to pull ahead to secure that victory. So that's a wrap for this AI video comparison, but it's not the only AI test that we've done. So if you want to see how ChatGPT 5, Gemini 2.5, Grok 4, and DeepSeek fight for the AI my crown, make sure to kick this link right here. And before you go play with these video generators yourself, don't forget to give us a big thumbs up if you enjoyed the video and hit subscribe, as we're always testing new devices and technologies to help you make the best choice. We'll see you in our next video, and until then, take care.